Hi everybody, I just wanted to do a quick movie review on Maid in Malacanang. I got to watch this over the last couple of days, so in fact I watched it twice in London over this weekend. And firstly I'd like to thank Jomar Carrillo and of course Jira Entertainment and everyone involved in this screening in London. Before I watched it, I'd heard all these stories about the Marcos family, a lot of information that had been spread by biased media. I've only heard one side of the story. I read so many media articles about the EDSA revolution was a peaceful revolution. There was no violence or anything like that. And, I believed everything that I'd read. And, I had an open mind when I went to watch this movie. A lot of people were telling me that this was history revisionism, or that somehow the movie was to try and get you to maybe like the Marcos family or something like that, or the movie had the altered facts. In fact, there was even a bishop from the Catholic Church who told people not to wear that to watch that movie, and I believe they even tried to ban that movie as well. The fact is that I believe it's important for every Filipino to watch this movie because it really does detail the story of what was happening in the palace during the last 72 hours of the Marcos presidency back at that time. This is not a something that's been made up. This is not something that people can argue about or say that it didn't happen or anything like that, because this was through the viewpoint of people's personal opinion. I'm not going to give anything out at all about the plot because it would be most unfair. I'm not going to give any details of what actually happens within the movie. I'm not even going to give any of the punchlines, if you like, or basically explain how the movie's put together. But what I will say is this: it is a very clever film. You can clearly see this is a work of art. This is a splendid work of art, which I believe is very, very important. No, it's not a documentary. It doesn't give an account in every single moment. It doesn't explain everything that happened during that time. But what it does is this: it shows what really happened. It shows what was going through the minds of the people involved. And I believe it was a story that people had been waiting for the last 3 decades. I strongly believe this is a must-watch movie. Some biased media wouldn't even try and comment much about this movie. They wouldn't even talk about the success. It's on for 500 million pesos, if not more. I don't know much about the costings of this movie, this production, how much it cost to make. But I have to say, I'm sure it wasn't millions of dollars to make this movie. I'm not saying the movie's not excellent, because it is. But, you can see this movie is not a multi-million-dollar movie. However, it's a excellent portrayal of that time. And I know they've used some fantastic stories. They have excellent actors. And, I believe with the money that this movie is generating or has generated, this will catapult Daryl Yap, and this will catapult the future projects of Vincentiments and everybody involved, so that we could hear even more stories. We could see the continuation of the movie. In fact, I believe next February there's going to be a part 2. We're going to get to see what happens next. This could be a yearly event. This could be a long-running sequence. I'd like to congratulate all of the actors involved in the movie. There have been comments over people's performances. Some people have been making fun of this movie, saying the performances are weak or something like that. And somebody even saying that they would compare this to YouTube or whatsoever. I fundamentally disagree. I know that everyone involved in the project has put their heart and soul into this. I really must comment on Christine Reyes and her portrayal of Senator Amy Marcos within the movie. You can see she has such passion, such drive, such commitment, and clearly she is excellent at her craft. And she really has a very strong performance, and it's so incredible to know that she's a brilliant Philippine actor, and I had the pleasure of meeting her a few times in the past as well, and I'm very amazed and very pleased by what she's done within the film. To Cesar Montana, I got the chance to meet him at the World Travel Market in London, and he's a fine actor. He's a statesman. He's playing these statesman-like roles, and he does so with such grace, such elegance, and such power as well. To direct Daryl Yap, I've got to say, you've told an important story, a story that many people have wanted to hear for a long time. I can only tell you about the cinema. I was sitting next door to a lady in the Phoenix Cinema today in East Finchley at the second day of the UK screening, and she was in absolute tears. She really was touched by the movie from the very beginning. I saw many people in the audience crying, even from the time that the national anthem was sang within the cinema. People really wanted to watch this movie. There were people who made so much effort, so much dedication to bring this movie here. But not only that, there were people who maybe had changed their shift at work and done so much to be a part of this. And I could see there was so much expectation, there was so much excitement, And, people were happy, people were satisfied, people went home smiling. I traveled with some of these people on the tube, and, people were happy with the contents of the movie. I'm not going to give anything away whatsoever, but I'm going to say this. It was such an awesome movie, and I strongly suggest that you guys watch it. I know it's showing next weekend at Hammersmith, and somebody's talking about Fulham as well. I know it's showing in Nottingham in September. I believe it's also got a screening in Manchester. It has a screening in Wales and other parts of the UK. And I believe this will be going on for at least the next month in various locations. And I believe there'll be a screening most weekends. I'd really like to congratulate the team behind the movie, the UK producers or the UK production team, the distributors, the people who brought this to the UK. This is a risky project. You may have found that people wouldn't watch it and you would have lost a lot of money. But, you trusted with your heart. You had that confidence. You had that foresight to bring the movie to the UK. And I know so many people have been crying out to watch it. I really would encourage every Filipino to watch this movie. It's so important, such an important tale. It's really a masterpiece, a work of art. I have to admit, I don't really speak Filipino completely. I can understand some, and I understand some words, but what I have to say is that when I watched the movie yesterday, I've got to be honest, I didn't cry at all. Everyone said you're going to cry during the movie, and no, I didn't. And the reason is because I had to use so much effort to read these subtitles very carefully and to take everything in, that I didn't really kind of cry. I'm not saying I wanted to. It wasn't intentional. It wasn't something I felt I had to do. But when I watched the movie today, I cried 3 times. You know, I found it so captivating. You know, and such it was sad as well. You know, it really touched my heart when I heard the story and when I heard what happened and when I saw this story come to life. I found it incredibly emotional, an emotional roller coaster. And I know you're going to enjoy watching it as well. So I'd say if you can go and watch it, please do. Maid in Malacanang. You can check Jara Entertainment, their Facebook page, to find out details of the latest screenings. You can also contact me. You can message me, and I can pass your inquiries to the people who are basically showing the movie in the UK. But if you can watch it in other countries as well, I suggest you do that. You know, this is a movie that should be shown to Filipinos around the world. And I know it's a great film, one of the biggest films I think the Philippines has ever seen. It's really got to be up there. So Made in Malacanang, really, guys, watch it. It's very emotional. I cried 3 times today. Many of the audience were in absolute tears. You need to bring tissues. To director Daryl Yap, maraming salamat po sir for this awesome movie. And to Vincentiments, well done. To Viva Films, thank you for backing this important project. Thank you for believing in Daryl. Thank you for believing in this movie. And to the awesome cast, well done. You know, you've done the nation proud. You know, you've captured our emotions. You know, you've made us all feel very proud, very patriotic. And I'd like to thank you all. Maraming salamat po, mabuhay Pilipinas. Guys, if you want to share this, please do so. And please do encourage everyone to watch this. Thank you so much.